I had some.
There's a fucking moth in here. I told you about getting ants in the studio.
Well, go kill it.
I don't know. I didn't get it.
I'm trying to text the babe right now. Chill.
Well, a bit.
Yeah.
Baby,
I was gonna work today.
you can give it all on me. There was something I would do but you.
Happy days.
What's up? Welcome back.
My name happens to be Evan. What does your name happen to be?
Dude, Artie Chan.
Artie Can?
Artie Chan. I can't see the floor levels because, okay, so we put the chicken on top of the TV monitor that we're using for Fire Red, and I can't see the numbers. So I'm just going to go floor by floor.
That's perfect.
That's a good plan. I know there's a way to trickle the spots here.
What do you mean?
There's a spot I'm supposed to get to.
Oh, I see. It's covering the yeah. Yeah. Okay. I think I understand. Put the phone down, ma'am. I'm gonna have to ask you,
Well,
sir. I'm one of the 4 Rocket brothers. We all have 4. Never mind.
Huh.
I don't want to get into my
Giovanni
backstory.
puts his seed into one girl and makes 4 brothers, and then he puts his seed in another girl and makes 4 more brothers.
4 more. What happens to the Golbat? Oh, they have their mouth way too wide open, I think.
I always thought, I always told you, like, the first generation of Pokemon, so simple in concept, but in design, phenomenal.
What are, okay, of Gen 1, maybe not your favorite Pokemon to use, but what are some of the most, like, well-designed?
Well-designed ones?
Yeah.
I would definitely say Blastoise. It's a turtle with cannons that just pop out of its frickin' back. That's one. One of the few, 152. I would say Gyarados would be another one.
Yeah.
Lapras is a great take on the Loch Ness Monster.
Ooh, yeah, that is
Yeah.
true. I'm trying to think of what other Gen 1 Pokemon there were.
I love Gen 2 just a little bit more.
Was it Gen 2 yellow? Red? Dude, what is Gen 2?
Gen 2 is
what?
gold and silver.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I see. Yo Vio.
That's one of my favorite. It's just because, like, they did everything with Gen 1, and just, I always talk about Gen 2, but they really just, everything a sequel should be, as in game, concept, and design, Gen 2 did it the best.
That much better. Okay.
I'm a total 90s kid, so that's why it's just always been my jam. Anyway,
Did you grow up wearing onesies, eating cereal on the floor, and Cartoon Network on Saturdays?
I'll do you one better, yes. I'll do you one better. I would be, this is probably a little bit too PG-13, I would be in my room with my headphones on, blasting, like, what was it? Papa Roach in my headphones, trying to read my homework school book, watching TV, and eating cereal at the same time.
Daddy Yankee. Wow.
That was my level of ADHD.
Nice.
And guess what? Failed every class. No, it was just that one time. But one of my most
Fitness online walking. Trust me, it's a long story.
that was shut up. I still hate that to this day. No, one of my biggest things I remember as a kid was I would be what was it? I would rush from school to get home to my apartment when I was living in St. Paul to watch the newest episode of Dragon Ball Z. And then Yu Yu Hakusho, if you guys remember from Toonami, like way back when Tom, I showed you that episode where Tom comes out of nowhere of like they do this little episode of Tom the Robot gets murdered by this alien life form and then comes back. It's like the coolest episode thing of transitioning from a new host, a cartoon host. So Toonami was Tom, and then Tom would be hosting like shows like, oh, this is like the lineup for today, and it starts off with him as like a little cute robot like child body or whatever. That came out wrong. Anyway, it came out like a robot body, child robot body, and then he dies and gets killed by this alien thing, and then comes back as the new adult Tom. It's just.
So I love that you just kept repeating child robot body, child robot.
I don't know how else to say it. I'm fighting a Voltorb. God damn it. Got one shot. Anyway, yeah, that
I'm gonna go for it.
was pretty dope.
Tonight, I'm on it.
Oh.
This moment, we own it. Sorry, what?
I was gonna say, I started. I bought my pedals, all the pedals that I got.
Ooh.
So I forgot to tell you. The other day I went to Guitar Center, and I was gonna buy those. I found these gold inductor patch cables.
Okay.
Like, I think 6.5 inches. The main thing is that they're gold inducted, and they're not like a cord, like one of these like 1/4 inch cords.
Yeah.
It's literally just like a rubber band that connects the two things.
What the heck?
I connected to my pedals, and the amount of noise that I get by just touching the cable, and then the signal that goes into the amp
Right.
when it buzzes,
Yeah.
it is so pure and so high gain that like you can tell the difference when you use a regular patch cable versus those. The amount of signal transference that goes into it, insane. I'm a huge guitar pedal like junkie. I go to Guitar Center, looking into the one in Maple Grove, and it looks like they're sold out of those patch cables. But the guy was like, "Hey, I know we're sold out of this, but you buy pedals here all the time. I know you would like this pedal." And he pulls out a Carolina, I think it's Carolina or California. Caroline Meteora. It's a reverb pedal.
Okay.
And reverb is not one of my favorite effects. I don't for my setup, I don't use reverb ever. If I ever do, it's mainly just like a small little thing, you know? Mm-hmm. This is the floor I need to be in, by the way. So, I instantly play, I try it out. It's $129. And this is one of the pedals that blew me, like it just blew me away completely for what it could do. Immediately blew me away. I'll have to show you sometime, or just like if you come over my house one day.
Yeah, you'll have to.
Dude, the setup I have right now, I've got my GT500 as like an overdrive distortion. This is a little bit too much of a nerdy gear talk, but just follow me on this since we haven't caught up yet. GT500 booster and or distortion. I don't know if you know this, but if you put a distortion before an overdrive pedal, they sound differently versus an overdrive over distortion. You know, you can flip the orders of the pedals physically, and you give them a totally different sound.
Yeah.
The GT500 has that already in it, so you can reverse the order by just flipping a toggle switch.
Oh, that's sick.
The like I talk about the Strokes all the time. It's one of my favorite bands. The lead guitarist, I've modeled everything to this guy. Albert Hammond Jr. and Nick Valenci. Nick Valenci is the lead guitarist. Albert Hammond Jr. does rhythm and some lead. I modeled my sound after them because that's been my favorite band, but then I realized how much of their sound has pioneered a lot of the things that has come after their sound. So it's just a lot of things that I came up to. Anyway, that goes into the Double Trouble, which is basically two TS9s, the standard of standard overdrives, right? There's one that's like super high gainy and one that's regular, just clean gain. So I do that. That goes into that Meteora, that reverb one. Normally, that's not people don't really put their reverbs. They put the reverbs at the end of their chain. Mm-hmm. I put mine there because that Meteora has a freeze function where you can hit a note and you can freeze the note and it will reverberate and just keep going into a constant loop.
That's kind of crazy.
It's so freaking trippy. I use it all the time now. I love that pedal. I go from that into my Boss SD1, I believe. I believe it's the SD1 where it does the and you can change it between having overdrive sounds to distortion sounds. So that's my third stage is distortion, and then I go into a fuzz, which is the honeypot, which I told you about.
Yeah.
And then from the honeypot, I go into the pitchfork, and even before that, I do a booster to boost the signal of leads or anything So if I just want to use my clean sound, I just use the booster for it. And if I want to use the booster for lead, to boost any lead section, I do that. So I can even boost the reverb, boost it really up if I wanted to.
Yeah.
That goes into my Pitchfork. Pitchfork changes modulation of sound and octaves, which is freaking sick. So you can get like a sick delay tone, a sick detune tone for, or just drop the octaves down of your guitar. So I can literally just be the bassist of the band if I wanted to, you know, which is pretty sweet. And or just drop all my things to half step if I wanted to.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's worth $179 for a reason. It's a $179 pedal, but it does a lot. The only thing that I would say about it is that, like, for detuning, if you wanted to detune your guitar, there's a tracking. It doesn't track your guitar as much, so there's that. Like, you can definitely hear the lag.
Oh, okay.
It's like, it's not. If you pay attention to it, you'll hear it. But if you're just playing with it, you won't even hear it.
But it's just a subtle.
It's just a subtle thing that you would notice. The other thing from there is my last thing is my Canyon, which you've dealt with before.
Yeah.
That Canyon. Oh my God, I play I every time I mess around in my room, I always just play I choose a song that I want to play to, and then I usually like learn the song. And that's why I say like I can play like about 100 songs, because like I know I've learned the rhythm and the lead parts to them where I can just cover them my own if I wanted to.
Yeah.
So when I play along to the Pixies Where's My Mind song, and I have all my effects for that. So I set the Canyon to whatever delay I want, and it works perfectly, and it fits perfectly every single time. I never use the same delay for one thing. I never set it for one thing. I know what the H's do, but I never set it for one specific delay at this specific time. I always mess around with it. And now that I have that reverb, oh my God, just brings out...
Just adds another element.
It brings out the notes that I wanted to, and I can influence them so much. So, dude, my rig right now is set up that I'm ready to start touring. I'm ready to start making music and start touring. The only thing is that I don't have my house, and there's always somebody sleeping in my house and or making obnoxious sounds. So that's just my little rant. Sorry if I went over this gear talk too much, but like, dude, I've been on this hunt for guitar tones and everything
for ages.
For a minute. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty excited for this weekend. I had already kind of picked out. I'm bouncing between it, like maybe 2 or 3 guitar amps.
Yeah.
That I'm gonna finally get an upgrade. I only have a Line 6 right now. It's just like super cheap.
By the way, I need to find out. Oh, the Guitar Center that you went to, did they have all 3 of those amps available for you there? Perfect. That's all I wanted to know. So that when we go there, I wanted to go to a Guitar Center that had all 3 amps for you to try out.
Yeah.
So we don't have to just go to like different ones.
Yeah, it's they had, you know, I could care less if they had the. I'm not sure I would even want to spend the extra $200 for the vintage. Well, not vintage, but special edition like blue.
Oh yeah, the Sonic Blues that I showed you.
Yep.
No, it's like, I think it's like $60 more, but no.
But yeah, no, I think
it's more cosmetic.
But yeah, to go get a new guitar amp, I barely buy anything. Whenever, I just don't spend money, to be honest.
I mean, you do, but when you do, it's like something big.
Yeah.
Like
I waste
piano,
money on I waste money on food. That's probably the only thing. But when it comes to like actually buying things
for yourself, like
it's massive. It's like I'm dropping $2K on each thing, you know.
Yeah. Because you can't. But yeah, no, I totally get it. Like you wouldn't go out and like you like I just beat I forgot to tell you. I just beat Last of Us Part 2.
Ooh. Okay.
I understand why it's so divided. There's people on the spectrum, on all spectrums, that hate it. I'm one of the people that loved it. I understood why people hate it too.
Okay.
But
I have never. I honestly, I don't watch. I don't know what the story is.
I would say, I doubt that you like. How do I say this? I know that you barely you play games, but I don't know how many games that you've played to completion, you know? Because this is one of the Last of Us Part 1 is literally the start if our world got into a apocalyptic zombie world, right? Like just out of nowhere, and then how the world functions after that. It's insane. Like just playing the first 10 minutes of The Last of Us Part 1 gets you hooked, like instantly. And it's a gut punch. Like it's a very somber, bittersweet gut punch. and you just get to see the worst in humanity and how some people are preserving their humanity, but there really is nothing.
Yeah.
After this, you get to see how you fight with zombies, how you deal with the environment, but then how you also deal with people. You basically can't trust anybody. It's a really thought-provoking and a very well-made game. The Last of Us Part 1, the remastered edition, God, play that. It's really cheap right now, actually. But The Last of Us Part 2, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I understand what people hated. I'm one of the people that like has a lot of hate in their heart and has been damaged by people that I tend to, how do I say this, look on the more positive sides in my own life. Mm-hmm. And I've gone through a lot of stuff that like, okay, I understand how this person feels when I'm playing Last of Us Part 2. I understand the choices that people make more. I guess more than you would. It
makes more sense to you.
Very much so. So the ending definitely divides people. Or even the first 10 minutes of The Last of Us Part 2, people were outraged for the first 10 minutes.
Interesting.
Or the first hour or so. Completely outraged. You either love it or you hate it from that point on. And I thought that the storytelling was a masterpiece. The ending of the game, literally, like, as I was watching the ending of the game and how it all comes, like, together, I didn't get it, so I had to somber on it. I had to, like, let it marinate for a bit. But as I was getting that egg to cook, as it were, I really, like, whoa. It's like learning how to deal with your pain in a video game shows you how to deal with that very extreme pain. And it's very well done. I think so. A lot of people don't, and I understand the criticisms of the game. I'm not saying everyone's gonna like the game. I totally get it, but I'm one of those few people that actually I loved it. I loved every single moment of it. And now that it's over, I'm like, damn, what next? Ghost of Tsushima.
What's that?
Dude.
Tell me about Ghost of Tsushima.
Who made it's one of these, okay, the guys that made Sly Cooper, I forgot the company that made Sly Cooper, but anyway, they made it 10 years. It's been like 10, 20 years since they made a game or something like that. And they come out with like a Dark Souls meets Assassin's Creed game. Samurais in, where is it? In Tsushima? I think it's Japan? You guys can correct me of where's the location, but the whole thing is that Mongolians come over. I believe it's Mongolians. A Mongolian army comes and kills all of these like Japanese soldiers. I believe it's all in Japan. Correct me if I'm wrong. In the island of Tsushima, or like in the little canyon Tsushima.
Okay.
So basically, they kill everybody except this one guy, and this guy eventually like supposedly is left for dead, but he comes back and he basically. Since the Mongolian, I believe it's Mongolian. You guys can like correct me. I don't even know if I'm saying that word correctly, but he goes and he starts wiping out all of these dudes and this island, and it's an epic experience. One of my favorite things that I've noticed from the game is that they have a Kurosawa mode. Kurosawa is one of the most influential Japanese directors ever. I believe he's Japanese. Anyway, he's made a lot of movies.
Okay.
Like The Seven Samurai, which is a really good movie. Basically, Seven Samurai inspired Dragon Ball Z in a lot of ways, and inspired a lot of what pioneered the samurai culture. It like really pushed it forward.
Okay.
And its iconic symbolism of what samurai is and what it stands for. There's a mode in the game called Kurosawa mode where it changes the screen of color to black and white. Film cinematography.
That's pretty cool.
And the game, obviously, because it's the last big game launch title, it's the last big title coming out for PS4 before the PS5. So this is the last title that's coming out for the PS4, like the last big IP, you know.
Interesting.
And it's been getting rave reviews, as Last of Us 2 did not. Like, was very split.
Very drop.
Yeah, you either love it or you hate it. But Ghost of Tsushima, I believe it's Tsushima, is something different.
I think sashimi is food.
Yep, so Tsushima is probably the island. Anyway, that's the next game I'm going to get. But before I do that, I still haven't beat Nier Automata, which is back when I was dating my ex-girlfriend, way back in the day, she showed me this game of Nier. It's a very niche game. Like it's a very niche kind of a game where it invokes a couple different kind of play styles in it.
Okay.
But anyway, the concept of life after an apocalyptic world it's or a post-apocalyptic world and how people deal with it. Anyway, it's a very philosophical game, and I would highly recommend it. It's a hack and slash, so kind of like Kingdom Hearts, where you upgrade your character and all that stuff. It's a very well put together game, and I'm not even close to beating that game. But I'm like, this is the second time I've owned it, and if I'm gonna get another one, or if I'm gonna sell it, I want to beat it.
Right. Sense. Yeah.
I've beaten every single game that I've had in my room, but I do not want to sell that game before I beat it.
That's understandable.
I hope so.
Yeah, there's some games that you just like you need to finish before.
Just the feels, man.
Yeah.
The resolution. But I still have Final Fantasy, BioShock, obviously. But Ghost of Tsushima, I think, will be the next one. You know, just I just felt so like empty after I beat Last of Us 2 because I'm like, fuck. I was playing this game for like a month now, and now it's over.
Honestly, that's as sad as that feeling is. It really makes me feel complete to know that a game can do that.
Oh,
when that happens.
Completely sad. It floored me, satisfied me, gave me something to do when I came out of work and I just didn't want to do anything. It was the perfect meal, if it was, like, if I can even say that, like,
yeah,
you know, perfect cocktail of like, let's just relax. Did the timer run out? I don't.
Yes,
okay.
we've definitely extended our. So we will see you guys in the next episode. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a comment in the description thingy below about what your favorite what your favorite detergent is. Laundry detergent.
I use Tide. What do you use?
I don't use detergent. Just kidding.
You're a monster. Oh my god.
Dude, those probably Tide Pods or something.
I was gonna say Tide Pods. I'm like, no, censorship. Traitor.
Eat them while they're hot. Bye.
Yep.